Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to let my skillet warm up, because that way the meat doesn't stick to it as easy. And we always use a quality pork sausage. This is from a local meat market in our area. Similar to Jimmy Dean. Years ago they had RB rice, but no sage in this because I don't care for that. So you let your skillet warm up a little bit. And then we're going to dump our meat in. And if it sticks a little bit, it's okay because that browns and that gives you more flavor.
And you really don't have to use cast iron, although it does work the best. You could use stainless steel or some other type skillet.
So we all know going through the woods is a lot of fun. And to me, my happy place is anytime I'm in the woods. And when you go camping, I don't know, a lot of people have bad camping experiences, and I think part of that problem is they don't know how to cook when they're camping. But to me, camping is all about walking through the woods, staying up at night, sitting around by a fire, maybe a candle, and listening to the sounds. No city lights, not like here in my brother's yard. But it's also about food. You know, what do you do when you're camping? You know, you're not punching a time clock. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting around and taking it easy. And you know, you make breakfast, and breakfast runs into lunch and runs into supper. We don't eat 3 meals a day, but some people do. But there's nothing wrong with just taking your time and kicking back. That's what being in the woods is all about. Now, going through the woods, that's another story, and we'll get to that later. That's when we're going to talk about making your own meals to take when you're backpacking. You're on a trek instead of camping. We're talking about what they now call car camping. When we were kids, we just called it camping.
It was the only kind of camping we knew when we were young.
That was pretty well what you did. You camped. But anyway, so we're going to show you how to make some good food. And let's face it, man, biscuits and gravy are like as close to heaven as you can get. And it's good. I don't care if you're camping. I don't care if you're at home. It doesn't matter. But it's comfort food. And it's really easy. So many people are afraid of it. I taught my brother how to make it, and he was all scared of it, just like most people are. And he's like, "That's all?" Yeah. Well, he's good as I am now. You know, it's really easy. You just take your sausage, and we're gonna brown our sausage up here. And after that, we'll get to the next step, which is adding your flour. And everybody's afraid you can get lumpy gravy. You don't get lumpy gravy making sausage gravy, not if you do it right.
And guys, I will promise you this. If it tastes good at home, it will taste amazing at camp.
Everything tastes better when you're outside in the woods. Absolutely everything. That's no joke. Okay, well, we're not going to torture y'all through this here. We're going to take a couple minutes and get this sausage fried, and then we'll be back. Okay, so here we just about got our sausage fried up. I don't know if you can see how there's some brown parts down along here, and that's good because that all adds flavor. And you get that most out of a cast iron, but it's still good if you use a stainless steel skillet or something else. Anything, I wouldn't recommend non-stick. And some people use a whisk. I don't like a whisk because I use a lot of sausage in my gravy, because we don't eat sausage on the side, it's all in the gravy. But the sausage crumbles kind of get caught up in that whisk, and it just ain't too good. So if you use a whole pound of sausage and you use something like, I'm just going to say Jimmy Dean, whatever the fat ratio is in Jimmy Dean, or anything else, it doesn't matter, you don't need to have the fat. It's kind of, I've been making this for so long, I pretty well got it down to a science. I got to turn this down a little bit here, Because if I don't, we're gonna
And
burn.
a side note, guys, there's a couple benefits to cast iron, 2 or 3 benefits actually. First of all, it heats extremely evenly. Second of all, once you get it good and seasoned, it's very, very non-stick. And third of all, it actually does add some essential iron to your diet.
Okay, so now we got our sausage. It's totally cooked and it's got a little brown going on it. And you could let it brown a little bit more if you wanted to, but I call that good. So you take...
It smells amazing,
You
Les.
take what we call a tablespoon. It's like you got your spoons that you eat cereal with, your little spoons, and you got these big spoons that come, but nobody has any idea what to do with them. Sorry about that. Well, we call them tablespoons.
It's a good-sized stew spoon.
You take the spoon, and you give yourself about 3 spoons of flour, and you just sprinkle it around in there. I'm a little shy on that one, so I'm going to add a little extra. What I was shy. And you sprinkle it around. You got the milk. And you stir this in. I'm going to slide this off here because he didn't have the milk. So you stir this in here. That's all you do. Come on. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to, any flour you see in here, you want to get the sausage on it. Because that grease in that sausage and the moisture in the sausage is gonna suck up any of that flour, and that's how you get lumpy gravy. Is if you don't do that, you'd end up dumping liquid in on top of that flour, and it makes some little lumps that just kind of float around, and you can't bust them up. So if you get it looking like this, where you can't see any flour, you ain't gonna have any lumps. So some people use regular milk. We use Milnut.
Makes for a little creamier gravy.
Any kind of canned milk, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I need to be able to open this.
Man, this sausage smells so good.
So, if you use 3 big spoons like that of flour, it takes 2 cans of milk. Now we got this here in a number 8 cast iron skillet, and it's what I always use for my biscuits and gravy.
It's about 10-inch, I'd say, 10-inch skillet.
It's similar in size to what you have when you get a set of stainless steel dishes. It's similar in size to what comes with it, so it's a pretty standard size skillet. Number 10's bigger. Number 10 you can fit 4 pork chops in, but number 8 you probably only fit 3 and a half if you wanted to cut it. So we're just going to go ahead and work this in, and what we're doing now is we're mixing that milk into that sausage, and that milk mixing into the sausage is actually letting the flour come out of the sausage and mix in with the milk. And I know you can't tell that, but if you tasted it, you could. Don't taste too good right now. And we're going to add our other can, and we're going to start cooking this. And as we cook it, all of our stuff on the bottom, you know, like over here I showed you where that was brown, that's going to cook off of there. And that's going to get into our gravy. And that's what's going to make it good.
And guys, we had planned to be in the woods this weekend.
Mother Nature did not agree
but
with us.
Due to Mother Nature and some other family issues that came up, it was not feasible. So we set up the old camp kitchen on the driveway, and we're making the best of it. But cooking outside is cooking outside.
So you see 2 cans of milk and a pound of sausage fits in there just about right. Still got plenty of time to stir it around without slopping it. Now I like this. The reason why I like to use this right here is because you can use this. When this starts to get hot, this flat edge here, you're going to want to do this all over the bottom of that pan and all around the sides, because if you don't, that's where it's going to burn. And nobody likes burned gravy. And it makes a mess out of your skillet. It's hard to clean up. So you're just going to keep scraping. See, I still got a little browns on the bottom there where that sausage brown, because it's still a little sticky. Once that releases from the heat and the milk, then it's not going to be sticky anymore. You're just going to keep stirring this like this and scraping the bottom. Back and forth, round and round, back and forth and round and round. That's it. Sometimes you might want to go around here. I really don't think right now we need to. When it starts to get thicker, be a good idea. But there ain't much going on there now. It's all just running back down off there. But, and once I get this bottom cleaned off here to where I'm happy with how it feels, we'll go ahead and we'll turn the heat up just a little bit, because I turned it down when I added the flour. Now I know we don't around here, but I have heard and seen that down south people put the flour in the pan, and I don't even remember if they put the flour in the pan with the sausage or without the sausage, but they brown the flour. Around here we don't do that. But biscuits and gravy is certainly a southern dish, so I'm not arguing with them.
Yeah, I believe I saw somebody fry the sausage and take the sausage out of the skillet and brown the flour in the sausage grease.
Yep. Anyway, you could make this gravy here. It takes a pound of sausage to get you enough grease to make the gravy. You don't have to put all the sausage in the gravy. You could fry up the sausage and just leave the two ends, or even none of them. It doesn't matter. And just use the grease alone. You just mix flour in with the grease, and then mix the milk in with that flour and grease roux, and continue with your gravy from there. But we don't eat patties of sausage. We just put it all in the gravy because we like it all mixed together. But that is a personal preference. It's totally up to you. You just need the grease from a pound of sausage. Now, maybe later on in the video we'll get into bacon gravy.
And hey guys, if you run out of biscuits, scramble you up some eggs. There's nothing better than this sausage gravy over the top of scrambled eggs.
Especially with some hash browns in there. Oh baby. Nice runny yolked egg and some hash browns and fried potatoes with some onions. Oh baby. That's good. But anyway, what was I just saying now? You cut me off and I lost my train of thought.
That you didn't have to use all the sausage.
Oh, you can make bacon gravy. You take bacon, about a pound of bacon, not quite as much because bacon's a little greasier than sausage. Half a pound of bacon, whatever. You can fry your bacon up if you want, or bake it. It works really good if you put it in an oven on a baking sheet and bake it. Comes out real nice. About 350 degrees in an oven, especially if you got a convection oven. You just turn it on convection. You don't even have to flip it.
And you have made it with ground bacon too, have you not?
Yeah, but most people don't grind their bacon. I grind my bacon ends. When we get a side of bacon, when we butcher, I grind the bacon ends because they're awesome that way. You make it out of ground bacon. It has about the same consistency as sausage gravy, but it's not as hamburgery. You know, it's not as pebbly. It's bacon, so it's more tender. But anyway, you just make it the same way. You just take your bacon grease, you put your flour in there, three tablespoons of flour, what I call a tablespoon, you know, a serving tablespoon, and then you add your 2 cans of milk and you're good to go. And then throw your bacon back in there. You want to take your bacon out before you do that because the bacon's already done. You don't want it to burn. But if you can see here, we're getting bubbly. We're getting real bubbly. And let me tell you the thing about gravy. Any kind of milk gravy, or any gravy milk gravy anyway. I don't know about any gravy really. But it gets thicker as it cools. And this cast iron, it's going to hold the heat for quite some time. So it's going to get thicker as it cools. So I don't want to let it get too thick because I don't want to have to add more milk. Because if I'm camping and I brought 2 cans of milk for my gravy, that's all I got. I don't have any more. Ooh, she's hot. Boy. Okay, so we're gonna call that done, I believe. We are gonna call that done. And then we're gonna come back here in just a few minutes and we're gonna mix up our biscuits. And we've got, I didn't even know such a thing existed until not that long ago. First time, maiden voyage, Coleman camp oven. I always baked in a Dutch oven. Well, that's a lot of weight to drag along. This is a heck of a lot lighter, and I'll tell you what, I can't wait to try it. It's an oven you put right here on top of this burner. It's got a thermostat on it, or thermometer on it, thermometer on it. It tells you what the temperature is, and it looks like it's going to be a no-brainer, but we'll see. So we're going to show you how to mix up some homemade biscuits and bake them in this oven. And if you don't want to do homemade biscuits, you can do canned biscuits. I just think they're barf, so I prefer homemade biscuits. The gravy soaks into them better. Alrighty, we'll be back here in just a minute.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, now it's time for the biscuits. So, Pioneer buttermilk baking mix. You can use Bisquick, you can use self-rising flour, and whatever you want to do. Regular flour, all-purpose flour, and your baking powder, and your salt, whatever you want to do. I like this. This is what I use. So, I got 3 cups of that in here, and yeah, it's a dry measure. I know. But when we're camping, I don't bring along double. So, it's close enough. Trust me.
And even though we're not really camping, we're doing this as if we were, so you can see
just trust
how
me.
we would do it.
Trust me, it'll work out. Now, I got this 2% milk. I ain't big on 2% milk, but that's what he bought at the store because that's what they had in a little jug. So, that's when we're planning on going camping. So, we're just going to make a hole and we're going to dump it in there all at once. Take a fork. That's my tool of choice. And we're going to save this here in case we need to thin our gravy down a little bit. So we're just going to, just like this. Hear the music, feel the rhythm, yeah baby. That's all it takes. Just stir her up. It's not rocket science, it's biscuits.
And guys, I know everybody always says this, but it's the truth. The most important ingredient in all this that nobody has mentioned yet is love. If you love to cook or learn to love to cook, your food will reflect that love.
So if you can see, you know, I mean, look, we already got basically, we got biscuits. Now, if you wanted to make drop biscuits, which are actually what I prefer, you're already ready. You grab your spoon and you drop them into lumps into the baking pan and put them in the oven. We're good to go, but I ain't so sure we're going to do that. I think we might actually. It's just because I ain't putting my fingers in there since y'all are watching.
Leslie, I just checked our oven. We are currently at 425.
Excellent.
And holding relatively steady, so we're going to be good, I believe.
So we are going to take some of this baking mix. Yeah, we're sticking our hand in there. And we're going to, well, here, so you can see it a little better. Hold on. Here, let me do a little switcheroo. Alrighty. I'm going to do this. Put a little baking mix on here. You probably could use flour, but, you know, then it messes up your ratio. This already has the baking powder and everything in it. So, we're going to take this. Do this so you can see. I'm going to turn this out onto here. That's a little sticky. So.
Kudos on the music, Les.
Yeah, nice.
We can't be in the woods today, but at least we can sound like we are.
Right. Okay, so we're going to. You don't want to do too much with this. These are biscuits. And you want them to be tender. So we ain't going to do a whole lot. Okay, so we're going to take them like this. Like this. And we're going to press them out. Now.
Holding at 425, so we just might have to bake them a tad longer, but that's better than it being too warm, isn't it?
That's good. It's a small oven.
Yes, it is.
Its heat.
But it'll do a job when you're out camping.
It'll maintain its heat, so it's not like a big oven. So.
And for $40, I really, it was almost a no-brainer for what we do.
Now we got a round pan in there, so I'd like to say I'm going to cut them in rounds, but I don't have a biscuit cutter with me. I don't even have a cup here with me. So I'm going to take them like this.
You know what?
I'm going to show you. Well,
I might have something inside that'll just do the trick.
I don't think we need it if you got that knife I had earlier to cut that sausage open.
I believe it's over there on the table.
Alrighty.
You want me to run and get that buttered pan for you?
Yes, sir. Alrighty. So this is how easy it is. You see, we pat them out, and then we're going to cut them. Just like this. Just cut them. Getting a little sticky. Put a little on it. Not rocket science, it's biscuits. It's easy. It's easy. Don't make it hard when it's easy.
Hey, whether they're round or square, they're going to taste just the same.
That's right. All right.
And they're going to taste even better when that amazing sausage gravy gets dumped on top of them.
So we're going to take these ones with the round edges. I'm going to try to put them on the outside. And we're going to try to pretend that but it's all working good. Because you know what? It'll be all right. It's a biscuit.
I ain't never had a bad biscuit. Just some way better than others.
Now, the closer you put your biscuits together,
Lester, let me go ahead and set this down for you.
the higher they're going to be.
I don't shake with it so bad.
The higher they're going to be. And you know what? I don't have enough room for that last one, but we're going to make them fit. So we might kind of end up back all in one lump, but it'll still taste good.
She'll break apart once she's baked.
That's right. So you're going to throw them in the oven.
In just a second.
Smokes just from that.
Okay guys, we'll be back in just a few short minutes when these biscuits are done baking. Okay guys, it's been about 15 minutes at 450 degrees or thereabouts. It's time to take these biscuits out. And oh my, what beautiful biscuits they are. I'm going to take some butter and rub on the tops of these. Make for some really good, moist, delicious buttered biscuits.
And then while that butter done soaks into the top of those biscuits, we're going to warm up the gravy. Throw us a little salt and fresh ground black pepper in there.
That ought to about do the trick right there, I believe.
It looks good.
Alright, we'll wrap that up and get it out of the way. Alright, so now we're warming up this gravy.
See how thick this gravy got? Okay, now we don't want to burn that there, so this nasty milk. We're going to add a little bit to this. You don't want to add any more of this than you have to, because it ain't canned milk. It ain't rich. But we're going to add a little of that so we can warm this up. I'm going to add a little salt and some first ground black pepper. Why don't you hand me that salt? And if you're on a low salt diet, you certainly don't need to add the salt, but I got about a teaspoon of sea salt here. What is the salt?
That is Redmond's Real Salt. It's from Utah in a buried sea covered with volcanic ash, and it's full of minerals and pure salt with no plastics or anything. Really good salt.
Okay, see our gravy cooking there? I don't know if you can see that, but it's bubbling. We don't want to let that happen. How about a little more milk over there, Hoss?
Milk is on the way.
Sir.
Say when.
One more. Ask me.
That's a line from my favorite movie, by the way.
Say when. I like Hoss. Man's a fan. Salt and pepper is to taste. You could certainly leave it to add to your plate. And see, we're just going to work this around and work that milk into there as we heat up the gravy. And here in a second, we'll need time to taste. And it's too bad it's not taste-o-vision, even smell-o-vision.
Oh, I guarantee you, it smells amazing.
Because I'll tell you what, it's easy and it's good.
And I know we're on my driveway, but I'm telling you, folks, this driveway right now smells like the bestness out of any Cracker Barrel you've ever eaten in your life.
I've done this in Dutch oven for the biscuits and over an open wood fire underneath the gravy. It doesn't matter, it's the same. 3 tablespoons, big kitchenware, flatware spoons, and I turn this off.
All the way clockwise, as far as she'll go. There you go.
And 2 cans of canned milk. And you can skip the canned milk and use something different, but the advantage to the canned milk is, number one, it's way richer than regular milk, even whole milk. Number 2, you can, if you add too much milk, you don't have enough flour and you got too much milk, you want a little shy on your flour, you got too much milk, it doesn't matter. Because if you cook that canned milk, it gets thicker way faster than regular milk does.
And guys,
and the flavor is phenomenal.
She's stirring that gravy. Well, she stopped now. I'm just going to zoom in on these biscuits one more time for you guys. These things look scrumptious.
I say you take over and go up there and get yourself some. Oh, don't forget the milk cup to get your gravy.
You don't have to ask me twice.
We're camping, so we're using the milk cup to get the gravy.
We're not really camping.
We ain't really camping, but we're doing it like
this is
if we were camping.
To do it as we were. And oh, look, that comes out so nice with that butter.
Looks like we got a little dark on the bottom.
That butter that I lined this pan with.
I'll call that a win for the first time.
That's probably the butter that darkened it up like that.
Yeah. I guarantee you, the taste ain't gonna matter.
And I'm trying to do this one-handed, so I'm not doing a good job of cutting these biscuits.
Oh, looking pretty good to me.
But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters what it tastes like. And I will guarantee you this. When you're camping, or when you're in your own home,
bring her on up
there
here.
ain't nothing in this world
Bring her on up here.
that's going to taste any
Oh,
better
baby.
than that
Look
right
at
there.
that. Okay, break off a bite. Do the old taste test. How's that? Tastes like in the house.
That is amazing.
Alrighty, folks, that's a wrap. Don't be afraid of biscuits and gravy.
Thank you for watching Through the Woods 360. Hit that subscribe button and that bell. We're just brand new to this YouTube thing, but I promise you there is great content coming and coming soon. As soon as fall rolls around and it cools off, we're going to be doing some serious camping, hiking, backpacking, and cooking.
30 plus years through the woods and eating while we're there. Y'all take care.